What's up everybody, this is KG. Today I'm going to be talking to you about different cities that I have visited in Japan. I've been lucky enough to visit Japan on 2 different occasions, both times to visit my friend Oz, who lives there and is an English teacher over there. So the first place I'm going to be telling you about is the first city I ever went to in Japan. The name of that city is Nagoya. So that is located in central Japan. It's the headquarters of Toyota. Toyota started there. And Nagoya is known as one of Japan's major ports. So a few touristy things to do there. Number 1, they have a place called Nagoya Castle. You can visit that. There is also an aquarium there, the Nagoya Aquarium. You can visit that place as well. And one area I went shopping in there is called the Osukanen Market. Back when I went, I actually bought my first digital camera from there. Nagoya is also known for its chicken wings. They have their own famous style of chicken wings. And there is a place called Yamachan. So if you're ever in Nagoya, try Yamachan for their chicken wings. The next city I'm going to mention is Osaka, which is famous for its food. It is the second largest city after Tokyo, and it is located in the west part of Japan. When I went to that city, I was there for a day, and I spent the day at Universal Studios Japan, which is in Osaka. The cool thing about that place is they have the same rides that you would see in Universal Studios in Orlando, for example, in Florida, but all the rides are in Japanese. So I was on the Back to the Future ride and Doc is speaking in Japanese, which is kind of funny, but the rides and everything were just like the American Universal Studios, but all Japanese. Another place I visited was called Himeji Castle, which is located about 30 minutes away from Kobe. If you've never heard of Kobe, Kobe is known for its beef. The cool thing about Himeji Castle is the largest castle in Japan, and also it is one of the only castles that have been kept intact for over 400 years. It's the original castle. The next city is Nara. So the funny thing about Nara is that they have a lot of deer roaming around freely in there, and you can pretty much go up to them, feed them, and in some cases even pet them. They're quite docile and friendly. There's a couple of temples I visited there. There's one place called the Todaiji Temple, and in that temple they have a big statue made of bronze of the Buddha. And the other place I visited is called Horyuji Temple, and that is one of the oldest wooden buildings still intact in the world today. Kyoto is the next city I'm going to be telling you about. Kyoto used to be the capital of Japan before Tokyo became the capital, and it's known for having a lot of temples and shrines. I believe there's something over 1,600 temples and over 400 shrines in Kyoto. So I'm just going to tell you about 2 temples that I visited there. There was one called the Kiyomizu Temple, and that is pretty much on the top of Kyoto. It's on a mountaintop area and you can overlook all of Kyoto from there. So if you get a chance to go to Kyoto, I would definitely recommend that particular temple. And my favorite temple there is the Golden Temple, also known as Kinkakuji Temple, and it is covered in pure gold leaf. The next city I'm going to tell you about is the most popular place in Japan, which is Tokyo. Tokyo is the largest city in Japan. It has a population over 13 million people. Tons of tourists and people come from out of town to visit Tokyo. So both times I visited Japan, I went to Tokyo. The first time I was there for New Year's, and I went to an area called Asakusa, and they have a place called Sensoji Temple there. People visit that temple on New Year's for good luck and good health and for a beginning of a new year. Also in and around Asakusa is a marketplace where you can go shopping and you can buy a lot of souvenirs and gifts and foods and snacks. A lot of people like taking pictures at the entrance gate, the Kaminari Gate, and it's a popular tourist spot. Tokyo also has Skytree, which is their biggest, tallest tower. I personally haven't gone up the tower, but I took some pictures outside of there. There is another area called Harajuku. Harajuku is basically the fashion and culture area of Tokyo. There's a lot of interesting shopping to be done in that neighborhood. There's also a big park in the middle of Tokyo, which kind of takes you away from the city life and into a park-like atmosphere. There is a big shrine at the entranceway that takes you into the main park, which is Yoyogi Park. Another area of Tokyo which is very interesting is Akihabara, which is known for its anime and maid cafes and very strange but interesting things that take place in that area. I personally went to a maid cafe on my birthday and Had fun there, took some pictures, you get sing songs, you do all these cutesy kind of things. It's definitely very different than anything I've ever been to before. The other thing that's popular in the Akihabara area is like games and comics and anime film. Another random thing I did in Tokyo was go to an oxygen cafe, which basically you breathe in different kinds of oxygen with different flavors, and it's another strange thing they do in Japan.
So right now you're using all 4 flavors. If you want to turn it off, you can turn off 3 out of the 4, or 2 out of the 4, or 1 out of the 4.
Let's try it one at a time.
Yeah.
So what's the one I'm doing now?
Right now, which one did you leave on?
This one.
You lemongrass. How's lemongrass? Does it smell like lemon or grass?
It just smells like cold air.
Do you feel relaxed?
I do actually already.
Do you? Nice.
Because it feels
cold air.
Oxygen-y.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even a word. But
possibly. I'm an English teacher, so I wouldn't know.
When I was little, I used to have asthma. So they used to put the oxygen mask on me.
Right. So this is better than that?
This is like
there
is some sort of a flavor, I guess, kind of thing, but
cool.
It's very mild. I also took the Sumida River boat cruise, which is an evening boat cruise that you go on and they have dinner that you can cook on the boat. And it's one of those flat top griddles and you cook something called manjayaki on there.
明太子もちもんじゃ、ナスチーズもんじゃ、ミックスお好み焼き、こちら3品提供していきます。
Scream, birthday boy, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Scrape. And it's hot. Yeah, it probably is. Good? It's good? Nice. Sweet.
I also have a video about cooking manjayaki, which you can also check out if you're interested. The next area I'll tell you about within Tokyo is called Roppongi. Roppongi is basically the nightclub and party district of Tokyo. So if you want to party, that's the part of town to go to. There's another area in Tokyo called Shibuya, which is famous for its crossing. It has an all-way crossing, and it's one of the busiest streets in the world, if not the busiest. It's another busy shopping district where a lot of young people like to hang out. Now, close by to Tokyo is an area called Chiba, and in Chiba they have Disneyland and they have Disney Sea. And Disney Sea, I don't believe exists in America, so it's only in Japan. So I visited Disney Sea and had an interesting experience there as well. The next area in Japan that I have visited is called Hokkaido, which is up in the north. It's a lot colder there, they get a lot of snow. Their major city there is called Sapporo, and that's where Sapporo beer comes from. I would say it's more of a countryside lifestyle versus a city lifestyle. My friend Oz taught for a short time out there in a small town called Takikawa, and we went back there to visit some of his friends and to attend the Bonodori festival, in which he was performing with his Japanese band that he was in. And in Japan there's tons of festivals that happen all the time, so it was cool to experience an authentic festival like that in a small town with not too many tourists around. last city I'm going to be telling you about is Hiroshima. Hiroshima is one of my most favorite areas in Japan I've visited so far. Unfortunately, it is known as being one of those places that was targeted in World War II for atomic bomb. So that is a sad history, and they do have a place called the Peace Museum there where they do talk about the history of what happened. But now Hiroshima has revived itself and it's a vibrant city and a lively city to visit and experience. They also have an area where you can go and party in the nighttime. It's called Nagarakawa. And we ran into an American soldier who was there, and he told us about a nice bar that is a mixture of foreigners and Japanese where you can meet and mingle. And it was called Barco's, and we had a good time there. We enjoyed ourselves, partied a bit, and then the next day we did some sightseeing in Hiroshima. So one food item that is unique to Hiroshima is Hiroshima style okonomiyaki. I had it in Hiroshima and it was fantastic, one of the best meals I've had. It is basically a very unique style of pancake, and in Hiroshima they make it with noodles, which they don't do in other parts of Japan. Also, my favorite part of my visit to Hiroshima was going to an island called Miyajima. On that island they are famous for having oysters, so while we were there we went to a restaurant that was specializing in oysters, and we had a full meal with different kind of oyster dishes in it.
So here it is. This is fried oyster, right? Fried oyster. It looks good. And it's directly from this island, so it's probably really expensive and really fresh. And you can see it bubbling. Yummy. It smells good. And that was just the appetizer. Here's the real course. This is akadashi miso soup, more oysters on rice, a few side dish salad things. That's, I think it's deep fried, like tempura kind of oyster, and that's the different sauces. So this is the full meal. And considering it's really hardcore fresh, right off the island, this was only $15 or 1,500 yen, so it's really cheap. So definitely worth it if you're in Miyajima.
On that island is the Itsukushima Shrine, as well as the Otori, which is the gate that many people come to visit. Now to reach that gate, you gotta wait for the tide to go back, and then you can go closer to the gate, and in the evening time the tide comes back in, so then you have to see it from further away. So if you do visit Japan, I would say Hiroshima is a must to visit. I really enjoyed my visit to that city. So those are some of the cities that I have been to and that I would recommend for you to visit. If you have any comments, leave them for me below in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so, and we'll see you guys again next time. Take care, peace out.
So what's up? What's the plan for tonight? You guys want to get wasted? Yeah, that's what I thought.